Okay, as we've already seen from the beginning, we've made animations, both path-based, morphs, and cell-based animations. Utilising all of these at once, you can really start doing some powerful things in Flash. What I've got here is actually a PNG graphic. Can anyone tell me what the advantages of a PNG is? Yep.
It's for computers especially because it's portable network graphic.
That's a definition. Good.
Transparency.
Yes, it's got a transparent layer. That's the important thing here. So I've got a wing that's had the background removed. It won't matter what colour I turn the stage. So I want to grab the door just so we don't get the hammering. Thanks. You can see that the wing doesn't have a square around it or anything like that. Thank you. But I'm going to keep it white for the moment. So I've imported my graphic. You can import it to the stage. You can import it into the library. To do that, you just go File, Import to Stage or to Library. If you import it to the library, it'll just appear down here on the bottom right in this case. If you import it to the stage, it will appear here as well, but you'll get it in the middle of the stage at the same time. Now, if you remember, one of the things I mentioned about movement with these graphics is every movement or object that moves should have its own layer, like a puppet on a string. I want to duplicate this for one because I really need two wings to make a butterfly. Now, in this case, if I'm going to do a cell-based animation, it won't matter what I do here. But first thing I'm going to do though is I want to create a graphic that's a butterfly. And I've just got to remember where this is. I'll clip it here. So I'm going to turn this one around, bring it in, and now I've got a complete butterfly. However, that butterfly is made up of two parts. So this is where we now take advantage of the symbols. So you remember when you did a path-based animation, it said convert into a symbol. In this case, I'm going to convert it into a movie clip. So what I do there is I select both components, right-click, and you can see here we've got convert to symbol. When you convert to a symbol, you can make it a button, a graphic, or a movie clip. You'll find movie clips probably the most powerful in terms of animation and what you can do with them in terms of effects as well that can be applied to them. The button's very specific. Obviously, it's going to be a button, but I'm not going to do that yet. The registration point can have an effect as to where things interact with it. So quite often it's good to put it in the center if you've got a symmetrical object. Other times you might change your registration points. So I'm just going to keep that in the center there. And we'll call this one butterfly. Now, I could leave it as butterfly and that's it. However, I might end up with multiple butterflies, different colors, different features to them. I'm not going to do that this time, but it's always good to have a naming convention. So I put underscore movie clip, so MOV. That's just to remind me that this is what this object is. I might put blue butterfly MOV, red butterfly MOV. Doesn't matter what it is, but that's what I'm going to do. So I now have my butterfly underscore movie clip. I can bring this in as many times as I like now. Okay, because I've made it a symbol. That's the advantage of it being a symbol. However, there's something else I can do with a movie clip. When I double click on this, I'm now inside the movie clip timeline. You'll notice here it says scene 1 butterfly underscore MOV. So it's like you've got a timeline within a timeline. You can keep going within more if you want. Obviously it starts eating up computer processing power, so you've got to be a little careful. But whatever I do here will automatically animate because it's a movie clip. So what I want to do is put in a keyframe. And you'll see here when I select this wing, there's this white dot in the middle. If I bring that white dot here, it's going to help because that's what we call a pivot point. The pivot point is where everything sort of centers around or pivots around. And if I put my pivot point in there, I can slowly squash my wing slightly. Same thing over here. Slowly squash the wing a bit. Then I go up again. And if you remember, function F6, select it, bring it in again on both wings. And this is a cell-based animation at this point. May as well do another one. Function F6. Now I could have tweened this, but I don't really need to. It's a very short animation. It's probably worth me controlling it completely. I need it to open its wings again though. Quick way of doing that, select that keyframe, copy the frame, paste the frame, and you'll notice now it's going to go in the reverse. Copy this frame, paste this one here, and it's back opening again. I don't need to open all the way because it's going to loop automatically. I'll go back to my scene. Great. It's not really animating. If I press enter, nothing's happening. If you go shift enter, should have worked. It was a command enter in my case, sorry. It compiles your movie and you can see it's just flapping constantly. So it's great. Now I've got this automatic flapping butterfly, really good. But what if I want to move it? So now I can go up here, as you remember, create a motion tween and have it fly around a little bit. I don't want to go for 1 second. I want to go a little while longer. By the end of it, it's going to be here, facing that way. But that's a bit silly, just sort of doing a little somersault. Might maybe we'll send it up here first. So you can see it's now turning and going down there. And if you remember, if I deselect the butterfly, hover over with the selection tool, you can always look at curving the line and making it look a bit more organic in terms of the animation. The other great thing I can do is this. Maybe this butterfly's landing. So what I've done there is on the last keyframe I've resized it. Well, not quite the last keyframe. It's going to go bigger. Oh, yeah, that's all right. So as it travels along that path, it's getting smaller. And the great thing about doing things like this is it gives your animations a sense of depth. So you imagine if you're going to zoom in on a building, it's not like you move a camera towards the building, you enlarge the building. And it gives you an idea that you're heading towards the building. You can even have things go past you, off the sides of the windows. So if I check this now, there it is, flying around. So what I've done here is combined cell-based with path-based, because there's a repeated animation that doesn't require a lot of work, but I wanted to control it. Then the movie clip, because it automatically animates, can then be animated again. So what I'm going to suggest you do this time is see if you can find an image on the internet. It's good if it's just symmetrical at this point. You can choose a dragonfly, butterfly, whatever you like, something that you think would be worth doing. You could try a bird, but you might have to break the bird up into 3 components. So you have a body and the wings on the side. Okay, so give that a try.